Alrighty, guys, welcome to Choose to Cruise. We are over halfway through this amazing incentive period. There's just so much to talk about right now. We don't know what to name this. Maybe we'll have some inspiration at the end. But I just feel like we're all in so many different places. We all have so many different emotions about this incentive, about where we are, about what we've done to get there. And so me and Anya really just went through and we were like, this, and this, and we split up some topics. First things first, I want y'all to put in the comments how you're feeling about this incentive as a whole, how you're feeling about the incentive period. I want to hear what some of y'all, this is your first trip incentive. So I want to hear what you think about, what you've done in your business so far because of the incentive. How has it helped you? How has it scared the living crap out of you? All of those things. I want to hear from everybody on here in the chat what this incentive has already done for you, because I know, and I don't want to say it's a natural thing, but I know when incentive time comes around, I know it's go time, right? It's something in me. It lights a fire. It gets me going. The possibilities are even greater at this time. So it just really gets me going. Exciting, stressful, push my PRV more, same. Seems out of reach, but not giving up, push from our parties, so close to level 1. And that's the thing, guys. Like, I know that we have, grown as a group as we continue to do, but the amount of people that have already earned this incentive is more than halfway through, is more than what earned it last year in our group.
Sorry.
So that's amazing, right? And that's the thing, like, even if you haven't earned a level yet, we have 2.5 months left. A lot can happen in 2.5 months, a lot. So you may have seen, I don't know if some directors shared this, some didn't, but they already have, as of 2 days ago, 39 people in the top 75. So 39 people have earned level 3. Yes. So that's pretty amazing, right? I mean, we're getting into that time where things are getting serious, is what I'm trying to say. First incentive trip over halfway to level 1. Yes. I love it. Exciting, stressful, a lot more work than you think until you get into the thick of it. Yes, it's so true. So we've talked about making our plan. And I hope to God that everyone has done that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight. We've talked about what we need to do to get there. And now we're going to be talking about, and Anya's going to go into this part more, stop talking the talk and let's walk the walk, right? We know how to get there. You've been taught how to do that. You have the resources. Now is go time. If you haven't gotten to go time yet, it's go time. Okay. We are in the final stretch, 2.5 months. Literally, we have, I like to say 2 months, because honestly, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have New Year's, we have a lot of things coming up where we are going to be busy with our families. And this incentive needs to be just like this, right? That well-oiled machine that's working itself. So the part that I'm going to talk about, first things first, don't give up. No matter where you are in this incentive, if it feels like you are literally starting on day 1 of this incentive, we are not giving up. If you decide today, I'm going to earn level 1, you can earn level 1. If you decide today, I'm going to earn level 2, you can earn level 2. Okay. That work can be put in for you to do it, whether you have a team of 5 or whether you have a team of 100. Okay. There are people with teams a lot larger than that aren't doing anything. Okay. Let's be real clear about that. So what you want, what you decide, what your destiny is, you get to do that. You get to decide that. You get to tell us what you're going to do. And yeah, it's going to be freaking hard to get there. We all know that. If you're on this call, you know that, right? But know that it can be done. We need to reevaluate our plan. I posted that 2 weeks ago. Didn't get much response from it. Who's reevaluated their plan? Who has redone their plan? Who has readjusted what they originally planned for to get to the end? Okay, so I see some hands. Everybody needs to do that. I did that. Anya did that. We all did it because either we shot ahead, and if you shot ahead and you're too far, I would love to know that because I didn't even do that myself. But I guarantee you didn't shoot high enough. You've probably done more than what you thought you were going to do. Okay. There's a lot of people in here that maybe you didn't. Maybe you thought you were going to do a lot more and you haven't done it yet. There's still time. You could go and sponsor 5 people tonight. Don't tell me that's not possible. Absolutely possible, especially if you haven't had conversations in 2 months. Definitely possible. Okay. Go out there and rock it out. Reevaluate your plan. See what your PRV looks like. See what you need to have. Do not come to me and say, oh, well, I haven't gotten my 1K PRV, so it's just not going to happen for me. You're right. I'm going to tell you, you're right. Okay. You go, take yourself somewhere else. This is not the place for you. Choose to cruise group. These people right here, we're working to the next level. Okay. Stop determining your fate. Stop saying things like, oh, I haven't done this. I haven't sponsored yet. I don't have a team like other people did. Stop saying and making excuses as to why you haven't gotten it yet. We still have time, because guess what? You're still going to be saying those same excuses in 2.5 months. The same exact excuses when you had time to change that and you chose not to. All right. Fix your attitude and fix your mindset. Some of y'all, this is going in one ear and out the other because you already have that mindset and you probably are about to, or you already have earned a level. But there's some people on here that maybe they can't get over that. They're not quite where they want to be. And that's why we're here to tell you that you have time to change that. Okay. Focusing on all parts of the incentive. I was speaking to someone, I was going to see if she's on here. I was speaking to someone this past weekend about where they were in the incentive. And she was like, I really need to focus on sponsoring. And I was like, that's great, but I want you to take a step back and look at all the opportunities that we have to get points. You have a large team of certified and lead consultants. You literally have 10 to 15 people that could promote. That's 10 to 15,000 points if each person promoted once. Are you helping them to promote? Are you letting them know what they need to promote? Are you letting your high PRVers that are certified know that all they need is an active frontline? Are you letting them know as leaders what they need to do to get to the next level? That would be my focus. People that are already invested in our game. Sponsoring people is great, right? But we also have people already here that we're not working with. And yes, you can't make people work. I totally get it. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that have the opportunity to take it to the next level in the next 2.5 months that you can work with. So pick those people out, go through your front line, even go through your downline, because that's what's going to help your business in the long run, big picture. That's what this incentive is for. But figure out who you're going to work with closely, who wants to promote, help them do that. All of those things. Your PRV, if you've had over 1K every single month, you're about to get some bonus points next month. Huge. That could be a game changer for a lot of people. Sponsoring points, obviously, but you can sponsor your butt off. But if they don't get certified, that has nothing to do with this incentive. Nothing. Like I said, let's invest time into the people that are already here and want more instead of looking for fresh blood that may not do anything. Incentive specific. Yes, I do want you to sponsor. Yes, I do want you to continue to do that. But as far as looking at focusing on all parts of the incentive, we can't just focus on one part, one thing. Set up to show us how to have a successful thriving. Yes, this incentive sets us up to show us how to do it. So even if you don't earn a level in this incentive, you have started putting practices in your business by these trainings to help you eventually have a successful business. I didn't earn my first incentive. I can't speak for other leaders, but I didn't earn my very first trip incentive. Like that's just not how it works. We have to learn to get there. And figure out where you're lacking. Focus on that. Once you have your PRV situated, we all know we need at least 1K PRV every single month. If you haven't gotten that 1K PRV every single month, if you've missed it more than 1 month, that's okay. You still have time to make up for that PRV. If you're a normal, comfortable 1 to 2K'er, that's great. Make a bigger goal. Okay. Don't make your goal 2K PRV if you've had it before. If you want big and better things, we're reaching big. We're thinking big. Okay. PRV first, always. And that's a choice. A lot of people don't like that, but that's a choice. You don't like your PRV, you can fix that in a weekend. I don't care if you like that. It's the truth. PRV, if you put the time in and you have the conversations and you're sharing consistently, or even if you haven't and you're like, gosh, I really haven't shared consistently lately, send an email, send a text. I guarantee you, with you reaching out to people one-on-one, you will get something. Set a party up. Simplify things. We are Simply Erasing Grit for a reason. And I know that looking at the points, they can be a little confusing and maybe not look simple, but we have simplified it for you to say 3 legs, 3 legs, 3 legs, 3 legs, 3 legs. That's it. You have your PRV, you have your sponsoring, you have your coaching. That's where all of your points come from. Okay. And then you need to figure out, once you figure out where, and this is like a lot of self-reflection too, where am I lacking? What do I need to fix on? What do I need to focus on? What can I do better? Right? All of those things are what's going to help you in the long run with this incentive. I could probably pull up every single one of y'all's points and be like, this is what you need to work on. This needs to be your focus. You should be able to tell yourself that. And if you can't, reach out to your director. If they can't help you, reach out to me or Anya. I am happy to help you. I'm happy to say, by the way that your points look, this is where you need help. This is where you need to focus. And really just taking a weekend, 2 days, 3 days of your week to focus on those things will help you in the long run. Okay, so, and the last thing I'm going to talk about is showing up. You're here. First things first. I don't even know how many people we start off in this group, but it's less than half that are left because you continue to show up. You are here. 19 people are here to learn. That's something. Okay. Take it upon yourself. Like, how do I say this? Pat yourself on the back and take a minute to be like, yes, I showed up. But I have honestly never sat back and be like, good job, Whitney, for showing up. You so good, girl. Go girl. No, that's expected. You should be here. That's what the 1% does. They show up, no questions. There's non-negotiable. If you're on here just by luck, start showing up. Start showing up for not just yourself, but what are you doing for your team? And when I say your team and you're not a director, I mean your director's team. I don't mean your downline. Okay, let me say that again. When I say your team, what are you doing for your team? And if you're not a director, I'm talking about your director's team. What are you doing for your director's team to help, to give more than you take, to train, to any of that? What are you doing? And a lot of people say, well, that's not benefiting me. I promise you, when you start doing things to help people as a whole, instead of just for your own interest, it will come back to you tenfold. I promise you. Stop doing things just for you. Stop doing things just for your people. You are part of so many teams, groups that you don't even know in Cincy. Let's be real honest. First things first, look at your workstation. That's who your people are. That's who your director is. That's who your SD is. That's who your SSD is. But do you know how many people that you're a part of above that? I probably don't even know all of them. Okay, so just know that when you're helping anyone in Cincy as a whole, that's why we call it the Cincy Sisterhood. That's why we have the groups that we do in Cincy. That's why Cincy has Facebook groups, so we can all share how we're working, what we're doing, what worked for us, what our customers love. Someone shared a tutorial on how to tie a bow the other day in the director's page. And I put a bow on this girl's order yesterday of how she told me to make it. And she sent me an email and she was like, that bow, those extras, those samples made my day. You made me feel so special. Girl, you are welcome. It looked a hot mess, but I tried my best. Okay. All of those little things that someone shared made a difference. I have a customer now, a very close customer, that was a very long, lengthy email about how she just loved the presentation of her Sense of the Season box. That's it, right? If that girl never would have showed or shared how to tie a bow, that conversation would have never happened. I would have never had that moment with that customer connect with them. Perfect example. Tying a bow, which I probably could have YouTubed, but I've just never really thought about tying a bow on a basket, on a bag. Okay. So what are you doing for your team? What have you contributed? And then think about it. Self-reflection. That's what this is. Someone's got to hold you accountable. And the first person that's got to do it is yourself. Because, right, I can tell you, I can say all the things you should be doing. I can help you. I can help guide the way. I can relight your fire. I can motivate you for the night or for the week. But when it comes down to it, you have to be the one to do the work. You have to be the one who stays motivated. You have to be the one who finds why you're doing this. It's not because of me. You're not doing this for me. You're doing this for you. You're doing this for your family. You're doing this for your future. You're doing this for, the list goes on and on and on, right? It's really loud. The last thing I'll talk about is thinking big. I listened to a podcast the other day about thinking big and how when we think small, we get small. You want 200 PRV a month? Cool, you'll get 200 PRV a month. You want 5K a month? Wait till that day you start getting 5K a month. It's going to be the best feeling you've had in a very long time because you have thought of something, of a goal that was totally impossible that you have conquered, that you've done. So stop thinking small. If you're 2,000 points away from level 1, stop thinking you're just going to get level 1. Stop thinking you're just going to get level 2. You can get level 3. You can because you say you can. So when you start changing your mindset and you start thinking big and you start having these crazy goals and you actually make a plan to get to those crazy goals. Yes, for example, 5K is a lot. How many parties do I need to have? How many, follow-up conversations should I be having? All of those things break down to a plan, but it is the product, it is the start of thinking bigger than what you've been doing. Because we have to stop settling. We have to. Some of y'all been bringing the same PRV you brought in since day one. Why? Because it's comfortable. Why? Some of y'all sponsor 1 to 2 people a month. Maybe one of them are certified. Why? Why? Do you need to be more selective in who you're sponsoring? Do you need a better onboarding system? Do you need to spend more time with who you're working with? What is it? What's the disconnect? Right? We talked about this in the leaders page today. You can have the best system in the world. You can have the prettiest thing and everybody wants to say that they use that system. But if it doesn't help you be successful, it doesn't help you produce the numbers, it's not the system for you. It may not be the most comfortable system. You may have to get out of your comfort zone and actually have to get off the couch and go to your desk and do a checklist. Just because you do that doesn't mean, or just because it's uncomfortable to do that, don't tell me you're a pen and paper girl and then have a system on your phone that you refuse to even try. I used to be a pen and paper girl. Now everything's on my phone. Why? Because it works best for me and my lifestyle. And it was the easiest for me to be able to say, whether I'm at my desk or whether I'm on the go, this is what works for me, right? You're going to have to get uncomfortable with what you're doing in this business to grow. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. And if you're comfortable, you're limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself. Even if you are doing like killer PRV, even if you're already doing 5K PRV, 5K something you've done before, cool, up it. Where would you be if you were doing 7? And yes, that may sound insane to you. I get it because you've never had that amount of PRV, but know that people are doing that and more consistently every single month in this business. So I know it can be done. Okay. So let's think big. Stop putting yourself in this little box that someone in your family or one of your friends or someone on social media wants to put you in, and focus on what you want. You want that trip? Go get it. You want to take your husband on a honeymoon? Go get it. Don't sit back and limit yourself to what you think is possible. I was reading a book today and it said she dreamed of going to Paris, and that it was something that was never possible for her. It wasn't like she wasn't one of those people that could just pick up and go on vacation. And I was like, holy shit, that's me. I could pick up and go on vacation tomorrow. I could go on a 6-month vacation tomorrow if I really wanted to. That's me. And the fact that she's saying this in this book, that something 3 years ago, I would have been like, yes, girl, please, I need something like that. The fact that that's changed, I can speak to you and tell you that it's possible. You want to make 20 grand a month? Possible. You want to make 5K a month? You want to make 1,000 a month? Whatever it is, it's possible. But stop limiting yourself to what you're already doing, because you can do more. Everybody can do more. I can do more. Ani can do more. Katrina can do more. Sylvia can do more. We can all do more. But we have to balance our business with those 3 legs and that self-care, right? To be successful and happy at the same time. Huge, huge. So don't give up. Focus on all parts of the incentive. Y'all, I still go back and check on those points almost probably every other day on how to earn the incentive. Because I'm like, okay, if this girl has promotes to star consultant, has her new team certified, and has 2K this month, level 1 is hers. Are you doing that with your team? Are you doing that with your frontline? Are you helping them earn this incentive? Because that's the other thing. If you're not helping other people in this incentive, why would you earn this incentive? Focusing on all parts of the incentive and showing up. You're here tonight. That's amazing. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. All right, Anya, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, I think self-reflection is the perfect segue into what I'm going to be talking about, because I want you guys to think about these things, and I am going to be hitting it hard. Y'all know I like to ask you questions so it starts making your brain move, because like Whitney said, we could talk till we're blue in the face, but until you wake up, until it clicks, that's where the change is going to come. So we're going to hit a little bit hard tonight, but I promise it's because love you, want the best for you, okay? And unless you're reflecting on yourself and in your business, you can't realize where you're lacking. Like, you just can't. You can't sit here and be like, oh, I'm just doing so great. Like Whitney said, there's always something more you can be doing, okay? And that's not to discourage you, but like, none of us are perfect. We all have somewhere where we could be doing more or better in our business, okay? You cannot make a muscle in your body strong if you do not work it and fuel it, right? And pay attention to it. If I'm like, I really want abs, Lord, if I really want abs, I better start changing my diet, working out, drinking a bunch of water, doing what I need to do, okay, to get those. Otherwise, come summertime, I can't be eating cake like I was just eating cake on the couch and drinking wine and being like, where are my abs? Like, where are they? When are they coming? I did not put in the work, okay? So it's the same thing, same thing. All right, so I'm gonna ask you some questions. Think about it. If you need to write things down, feel free. But are you doing your follow-ups consistently? Like, are you doing follow-ups with your consistently? Are you creating relationships with your customers? AKA, do you talk to them about Scentsy, or do you try to just connect with them on a deeper level? Do you do a mixture of both? All right. Think about that. They are people. So if you're only talking to people about Scentsy, that's an issue. Okay. Some people will only talk to you about Scentsy. That's fine, but at least make the effort, okay, to love your customers and treat them as an actual human being. Are you having party conversations? Are you getting samples into your customers' hands? Okay, if you're like me, majority of my people are online. So I can't just be like, oh, here's your goodie bag with some samples in it. I've got to send them something, okay? It's got to go in the mail. I have to invest in my business in that way. So are you getting things into your customers' hands so they can smell things, okay? Are you explaining to your customers why parties are the best way to get your Scentsy? Are you partying at all? Okay, how many parties are you doing? Do 4 of them suck every single month and you're only doing 4? That's a problem. We got to change that, okay? Think about those things. So how many parties are you doing in a month? How often are you talking about Scentsy Club? Okay. How often are you talking about why it benefits your customers? Do you have a Scentsy Club? Can you show them the benefits? Can you show them how you change things or how you can always get this bar that's not available to anybody else? Sidetrack, I did an event this weekend and I cannot explain to you how many times I mentioned Scentsy Club when someone asked me for a scent I've never even heard of. And they're looking at me like, what? But their sister's a Scentsy consultant. But they've been buying Scentsy for years and no one has ever told them about Scentsy Club. Mind blowing to me. I'm like, girl, here's my card. Let me hook you up. I will always be honest with you and tell you how to get the best deal. Think about things like that, okay? Are you posting a join flyer once a week? Are you having sponsoring conversations? Are you talking about why Scentsy is blessing your life? Are you doing these things consistently? Okay, have you explained to your customers why joining benefits them? All these things that like, these are no brainers, you guys, but it's things you have to be doing in your business. All right. Are you talking about the opportunity consistently? Are you coaching up your teamies? Are you working with them to hit their goals? Do you even know what your team's goals are? Because if you don't, that's a problem. You've got to know these things. Okay. Again, they're people. They're real life people. All right. Next, are you training? I can tell you right now that I know the answer if you're not showing up on the leaders page. I'm just saying, like, I already know the answer. Are you training? Do they even see you as a leader? I can't make that happen. You have to make that happen, okay? How are you keeping track of how you're working? All of these things. How are you keeping track? How are you making sure these things are done consistently in your business? I'll tell you, this is what I'm using right here. This checklist. It's daily. I got a daily one. I have a monthly one. Okay. Like that's what I'm using to make sure those things are getting hit. Because if I don't, I'm not going to know how many sponsoring conversations I've had in a month. I'm not going to know how many times I shared Scentsy Club. I can off the top of my head be like, at least twice so far this month. But like, that's not a tangible thing for me to look at and see, dang, I really slacked in Scentsy Club this month. I need to pick it up and talk about Scentsy Club. Okay. So we have to be having a tangible thing to show us what we're doing so that we know where to go from. Okay. So we need to know how we're doing things on a consistent basis. Otherwise, I can sit here and I can be like, how many join conversations have you had? Well, I've had a few, but no, how many are you having? Who are you having them with? What did they say? What did you say? There has to be a log of some type. However you do that, there's got to be a log so you can look back, reflect, and know what to do differently moving forward, okay? So consistency is going to get you literally everywhere, all the places. It will get you everywhere, you guys. I will be 100% transparent. When I first started actually doing parties, my thing was, well, I only want to have 1 or 2 this month because what if nobody wants to book next month? No, if I'm having 4, 5, or 6 this month, I have a bigger pool of people to choose from next month to talk to about a party. Do you understand? So we've got to be constantly looking at what we're doing and readjusting. And that doesn't just happen with the incentive. It's going to happen constantly in your business as you grow, as you evolve, as your team grows. Okay. So I want you guys to stop acting like you're doing something when you're not. I need you to stop saying, oh, I had a joint conversation. Well, I tried to reach out for some parties. If you're not doing it, stop acting like you are. Stop acting like you're spinning your wheels and doing all the things and it's just not working, and actually do something. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, because sometimes, right, I can sit here and I can say, man, I really did the most today, all over the place. I did so much around my house. But then when I look at it, no, I didn't. I did a bunch of little things, right? But I didn't do one collective big thing to be like, check off the list. No, I dabbled here, then I moved here, then I moved here, and I never completed one big thing. But I acted like I was doing a lot. Stop being busy and be productive. That is going to be the biggest thing. Stop being busy, be productive. Stop acting like you're doing all the things. If you're sitting on your dang phone all day long, okay, and you can answer every single post that comes on the leaders page, but you don't have your 500 PRV by now, that's a problem. Like, get off your phone or stay on your phone and go have some party messages. Stay on your phone and go have some join conversations. Stop answering all the things on the dang team page. Somebody else who has 2,000 PRV could do that, okay? You need to focus on something else. Like, again, you're looking like you're doing all the things, but you're not. Does that make sense? Because, like, it's a theme that's happening. And that's not okay. Because then later you're coming to your director, your star director, your SSD, and you're like, well, I was trying. But were you, or were you just answering all these things on the leaders page? I'm not saying don't show up to the leaders page, show up, okay? But you got to take care of your business too, not just one, all right? We got to balance that out, okay? So here's the thing. If you're having one join conversation a month, okay, one, remember that 1 out of every 10 will say yes. That's one teamie a year. That is definitely not the formula to get a big business. All right. You literally want to focus on your 2 teamies a month for your big business if you're looking to sponsor and grow that team. 1 teamie a year ain't going to get you there. You're down by what, 23 teamies? Like, what are you doing? But then you're like, well, I put it out there. I put up a flyer, but did you connect with people? Did you talk to them? All of the things go together. Okay. Your consistency, your habits, all the little things go together for the big picture. All right. We have to stop saying we're doing stuff when we're not. We were like, you've got to do it tired. You've got to do it scared. You've got to do it when you've got a million things going on. You just have to do it. That's it. I had someone the other day, I posted the Jessie Lee thing and they were like, oh, too bad I can't make it. Don't care. Don't care why you can't make it. Do it or don't. But like, I do not want to hear your excuse, because later you're going to come to me and you're going to be asking me for help. Probably the exact thing she's going to talk about. Let's just be real, because that's how that works. Like, don't care. Catch the replay if you need to. Okay, whatever. Soak it up. Get the work done. That's what I need. And then when you come back and you're asking me questions, got it. Cool. But stop acting like you're doing something when you're not. Okay? Okay. So in order to get where you want to be, you have to do something you've never done. You cannot, and I've said this before, you cannot do the same things as a director, as an SSD. There are different things you've got to start doing to be like, oh, dang, okay, now I'm doing this level. I've got to change things up a bit. You're not going to do the same things as a certified consultant as you did when you were a lead. Now you've got a team to check on. Now you've got people to look after, right? Now you're literally leading from the front. Okay. It's not the same. You've got to do something you've never done to get to that next level. And it doesn't stop. It's continual. It's exciting and it's wonderful. It's continual. So you have to have that mindset that you're going to ever evolve and ever grow. All right. So we have to think about it like this, y'all. We're doing the same things over and over again, right? If we're having our one join conversation a month, then you're not going to sponsor anybody. Like, it will be so far in, but if it even happens, you won't sponsor anybody. So if you're sitting here and you're like, well, I'm just too nervous. Okay, then you don't want to grow your business. Be honest with yourself. But you're here. So you do. So put in the freaking work. Okay, put in the work. So we have to think about, we're putting in the same result is not going to get us to where we want to be. Okay, whether it's in our business, whether it's in our life where we want to be. If you want to be that person, like Whitney says, where she can just take off and go on vacation, that's not normal, you guys. Like, my husband's in the military. We can't, I mean, I can. I can just leave. Bye. I'm peacing out. He can't. That's not his life, right? But in order to do that, I have to keep doing things that I haven't done before. And that's okay. So we've got to pay attention to where we get stagnant. Are you comfortable with your PRV? I can tell you for a long time, I was super comfortable. So I literally just talked to Whitney about it, and I'm like, I just need to push myself even harder. Why am I so comfortable? Because it's easy, because it's coming like clockwork, and I can homeschool my kids, and I can do what I want, and I can drink my wine on the couch at night and possibly fall asleep with my glass in my hand sometimes. Like, okay, but that's not going to get me to the next level. Like, me falling asleep with my wine glass and not working when I could be is not getting me to the next level, okay? We've got to sit here and think, what do we want in the future? All right, what do we want in the future? So it's time to change it up when we get stagnant. We're going to get uncomfortable, and we've got to be willing to say yes instead of no, or I don't want to, or I don't feel like it. We have to be willing to say yes. We've got to be yes people, Okay. We're going to be yes people. We're going to do what other people are not willing to do if we want to earn that cruise. Not everybody earns a free freaking cruise. And I added these numbers up for you today. So I did it today. I looked. A plane ticket for 2 people from where I'm at to go to Alaska is $750 a piece. Okay. $750 a piece. Then if I looked up cruises to Alaska, right now it's about $2,900 for 2 people with a drink package and a halfway decent room. Okay, that's $4,400 at least. There's no car rental in that. There is no hotel if you get there early or you leave later. There is no travel food included. There are no excursions for when you get off the boat. There's nothing for souvenirs for when you get off that boat, because you want to get something, right, to remember what you had. Like, let's be real. Or you want to get something for your kids. There's none of that. There's no food off the boat that you have purchased. $4,400, not including all the commission you got while you were working your business to earn this cruise. So what is it worth to you? What's it worth? Because I'm gonna be real honest, that $4,400, like, we're over here trying to buy a house. That's like my closing costs. Okay, I'm trying to buy a house. So if that's my closing cost, then this cruise is completely out of reach for me. Well, that's not gonna happen unless I work my butt off and I earn it. Unless I put in the hard work, okay? Unless I get it done, because why not? It's presented to me. Why would I not take that opportunity? Okay. So what's that cruise worth to you? Is it worth the late nights? Is it worth the uncomfortable conversations? Is it worth working with your teamies when you really just don't want to? Because I'll be super transparent. I went live on the director's page yesterday. Yep. And I was like, I don't want to talk to none of my teamies. That's how I feel right now. None of them. I'm so frustrated. Like, I was just frustrated, you guys, from talking to people, them asking me questions about things I've already talked about. Or it was last tip Thursday. Nobody watched. Okay, that's cool. But like, I was just at my point. Like, I was frustrated. But is the cruise worth it to me? Is it worth it to me to help somebody else achieve the cruise? 110%. I'm going to say yes every time. I'm going to suck it up. I don't care about my feelings. We're going to push them to the side. And I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm showing up for that one person. I'm showing up for myself. So what is it worth? And even if you miss getting on that cruise, is it worth it to you to miss, but next year for you to be a director and for you to get the next incentive? Is it worth it next year for you to be a star director or an SSD? It can happen. Literally, I was a director last November. The end of November, I hit SD, but I started November as a director. It's possible for you to get to the top in a year. It is so possible, you guys. Is it worth it to change not only your life, but lives on your team? Is it worth it? That's what you have to think. And that has to be your motivation going forward. Okay. Is it worth it? What can I change? What do I need to work on? Let me just do it. No excuses, no fussing, no wine at night with your cake. Okay. Just do it. Put in the work, because you're worth it. Your team is worth it. You are so worth it. And it will be worth it. I promise. Yes, Leslie, leadership is hard, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Okay. So I'm excited. We're going to be yes people, and we're all going to be on this cruise together. I was going to say laying out in the sun, but probably not, because it's to Alaska. So we're not laying in the sun, but we're all going to be on the cruise together. Okay. Having a good time. I'm excited for y'all. It's going to be good.
Yeah, so good. And that exactly what Leslie just said. Leadership is hard, but it's so worth it. That's exactly what this is. Like I said at the beginning, the people that are on this call, that are still in this call, that were here from the beginning, that show up when they don't feel like it. Guess what? I didn't want to be here tonight either. How about that? We had basketball. We ate dinner at 7:00. Got the boys in bed literally right before I hopped on here. I didn't want that. This was not what I want to do. But guess what? I'm still here because that's what leaders do. It's hard. You have to show up when you don't want to. And even if I think all of you here are leads and above. When we started this group, not everyone in this group were. People have promoted since they've been in here, which is amazing. But just know that what you've done so far is just the beginning. And that's the amazing part of all this, that look at where you were at the beginning of this incentive. So another self-reflection, we can end it with this unless you have something else. But look at where you were at the beginning of this incentive. And not saying it's because of the incentive, but maybe you implement a few new things in your business, or you just lit that fire to get going, and look at how much has changed. Even if you haven't promoted, look at the difference in your PRV, or look at the difference in your TWV, look at the difference in your team size, and see what has happened in just 3 months. I guarantee you're going to be like, wow, I didn't even realize that I've already done that much. So we still have 2.5 months to go and to do this. And I'm excited to see who ends up doing it, who ends up changing their business. The incentive is great, guys. I mean, it really is. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But if you can change with yourself within this business, then everything was worth it. I don't care what level you got. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So we will end it at that.